Hi everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video. I'm going to have a play with this new stamp set from Dina called Woodland, and I thought I'd make a little kind of woodland theme book, but I might use these art cards as my starting point, but I don't know. I'm going to have a look through and see which ones I can use. So I have two sets of these. I've got one set that I'm not going to do anything with, and one set that I can use to play on. And I think it's more about having that kind of background starter really than anything else. Kind of like those purpley ones. Seem to very definitely be in a bit of a purpley phase at the minute. Right. I'm going to not use that one. It's got a face. I don't want ones with faces on really. That's okay. So that means I've got two there. Let's see what else I can find. Just having a look through. I want to kind of keep in the same colour palette if I can, but maybe that doesn't matter. Maybe I could just add, yeah, some of those in. Okay. I'm not necessarily going to keep the words either. I might just use these as my starting point. I might do them back to back like this and have that as the front cover and that as the back cover. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, so that means I'm only going to work on these sides. So what I need to be thinking about here is making these a bit more uniform so they work together. I might just cover them with a little bit of clear gesso because this is quite a shiny surface, and yeah, I bet if you're you might be like, oh Claire, you can't work on these. Okay, maybe this isn't the video for you to watch because, sorry, just picking up some stencils. I'm going to work on these. I'm going to go in with some clear gesso, world's biggest clear gesso. I have run out of Dina's clear gesso because I think I might do some reductive stenciling on these, and I want the surface to be a bit easier to work with because it's quite shiny. So the clear gesso is just going to give that surface a little bit of tooth and make it a bit rougher for the paint to grip. Also, it's going to mean that the paint won't scratch off either, as well as allowing me to do fun techniques. So that's my first little layer. Just get that in there. Let me get my heat tool plugged in. Oh, it is plugged in. Forgot to unplug that last night. Not so good. That gesso was Liquitex, but any clear gesso, they're all pretty much the same. Dina's is probably my favourite. This Liquitex one is quite gritty, but given that's the purpose of clear gesso, to kind of give your surface a bit of tooth and grittiness, then you know it's doing what it's meant to do. So I'm going to give those a quick dry. Phew, bless me. So these animals are kind of giving me a bit of an autumn vibe, as are some of these colours on here. So what I might do is grab, I don't know, what should we go like? Oh no, geez, wrong one. Angelo. Oh, favourite colours coming out again. Oh my. Okay, so I think I'm going to get some colour on these using my gel plate, and I'm going to do a bit of gel printing and then remove some of the colour with baby wipe. And whatever I do to one, I'm going to do to all of them, because I kind of want them all to have that sort of cohesiveness. So, oh, that's nice and gritty. Quite like that. I like the way that's picking up the paint. It's quite warm in here today. I wondered whether that might have been too dry, but it's lifting off all right, so that's okay. So if I just build up some layers of colour on these, I don't think I've ever gel printed with something with clear gesso on it before. I like the kind of texture that's picking up. Now, I wouldn't normally clean my gel plate, but I don't want any more lilac on there, so lilac iris. I'm just going to lift that off. There's also some raspberry left on there from my last gel printing session, so we'll get rid of that too. This is just a baby wipe. Next colour I'm going to use is, I think I'll go pink next. So this is a raspberry. I need a bit more. Do we need a bit more? Maybe not. Let's see. Ooh, pretty. Like that. So just kind of make these backgrounds so that they've got some nice colour on, and then almost like the layer underneath that was already there, that's almost like a sort of collage layer, because I've got some sort of interest going on as well. I'm going to do the same thing. What did I do with the baby wipe? I must have thrown it in the bin. Cool. How strange. Oh well, let's get another one. I'm going to go in and just lift a bit off. So I'm just getting little glimpses of what's behind. Cool. Yeah, I like that. Some places I might just even go in with another. Okay. Let's just clean that off. I think I'll give those a dry. Okay, so now I think I'll use some Tangelo. Okay, it's gone a bit gloopy, that one, but should still work on here. just kind of working that a little bit more than I would normally because it had gone a bit thick. So, oh nice, I like that. I do love how these colours play together. Kind of oranges and yellows. And you can see these cards are going to start to have that common theme with these colours. This means that even though they've all got different backgrounds, they're still going to work really nicely together here. And also, like, doing it this way, you've kind of got that unpredictability that you don't quite know what it's going to look like completely. So it's a little bit of jeopardy. A bit of jeopardy with your gel printing. Gel printing with jeopardy. I do like that. I love that it's also, in some places, it's pulling bits off, which I also quite like. Okay, so then I've got those colours on. So that's Iris, Raspberry and Tangelo. Now I'm going to go in with Mustard. So I guess if you're watching my channel regularly, you might be really fed up of seeing me using these colours, but it is like kind of my obsession at the minute. I love the way these colours work together, and particularly when you go in and add mustard. It is such a beautiful, beautiful warm colour. I haven't removed any of these. Let's just lift a couple of little bits off here. So actually what this is doing is lifting right through to the background. I kind of like that. I don't just want one circle there, that's weird. Okay, over here. So we're getting like little pops of white, or even further to the colours behind. Aren't they lovely? They're coming up really nice. Let me give those another dry. So then I think for this last layer, I want to dry that. I'm just going to go in with mustard now because it's such a lovely, lovely yellow. It looks like a bit of a dirty yellow, but it's actually a great way to add warmth to colours. It just, like, I don't know, I can't really describe for me what it actually does. And I wonder whether rather no, let's continue the gel printing. Let's just do that. Okay. Oh, love, love, love. The thing is, it's going to pick up on some of those areas where I've lifted the colours off. So we're going to get pops of that actual colour, as well as how it blends and mixes with the other colours. Oh, gorgeous, gorgeous. So I don't know, if you've been on the fence about mustard, the colour mustard, and you've been like, not really sure it's my thing, I think you should get some. Give it a try. It's so pretty. Look how those are now working together. Right, I'm just going to clean this off and pop it away. The reason my gel plates are quite yellowy is I use alcohol inks on them quite a bit, so it does discolour them. So I think, you know, the way I look at it is my art supplies are there to be used, and they're not, I'm not out to try and keep them looking pristine. So, you know, no to that. Right. So I think what I might do now is use this. maybe some smaller circles would be nice. So these backgrounds are then going to be kind of completely ready, and then I can start thinking about how I'm going to decorate them and pull them together. Come in with a little bit of stenciling. I don't know, most unlike me, I'm just going to do one place of stenciling on these, because these are not massive areas. And there, I love that. I think that's great. Okay, so there is another coaster stencil from Dina that has got smaller, again, smaller circles. This one, I think what I might do now is get my splat box out and not rouge, just raspberry. Let me just have a look in here. My enormous box of glosses. So that's raspberry, but it hasn't got a sprayer. Fuchsia. Ooh. Does fuchsia spray? Oh, it does. Oh, yes, let's do that. Right. Let me get my little splat box out. I am definitely not to be trusted with gloss and sprays. I have to use my trusty splat box. I'm just going to... I'm not even bothered if these are the right way up or not. I really don't care. So this is fuchsia gloss spray. Just going to go in with some little pops of that. Isn't that pretty? Okay. Don't forget to wash your sprayer. And then I don't want to waste that, so I'm going to grab a couple of tags. Put those side by side and just flip this onto there. Oh my, that's pretty. I like that. Right, let me give these a dry. Aren't the colours rich on there? I'm just going to find a new cocoa from my box, my stash box, because I think, unless I use scribble sticks, I'll do that. I'll use scribble sticks. Oh, I really like these. Colours are so pretty. Fuchsia gloss spray works really nice on there. It's kind of nice to mix lots of different products together. Now you might be thinking, okay, so you could just have used pieces of card or tags for this. Yes, I absolutely could. But what I love about these is that I've got those little pops of colour and artwork popping through, but they're just there in the background. So now what I add on top will become the focal, and that just becomes another delicious layer in my work. One of the joys about working with other designers' things is that, you know, you get to incorporate a bit of that loveliness into your work and what you create. Okay, so I'm quite pleased with those. They've come up really nice. I mean, I think they're going to need a little bit of white on there just to pull them back a little bit, but they've come up really nice, haven't they? So definitely need to order some more Dina paint. Sure. Some more white. Dina paint anyway. Let's put these together. So I bet now there is somebody watching this going, oh my god, you're disappearing all that lovely background. Well, yes, but I just want to bring some little areas of calm to these, and I'm not particularly worried about them being uniform and neat and tidy. So again, by doing this kind of scraping on method, I get less control over what I'm doing, and also I'm creating some really fun, interesting texture on here too. Right, I'm going to just leave those to dry off, and I want to 624. Oh, look at that! I've got enough animals to do one on each page. Oh my goodness me! Almost like I planned it. Oh, crazy! Right, so this is Dina's white, heavyweight watercolor paper. Excuse me, sorry. And this is lovely. Definitely behaves better with a coat of white gesso on it. So I'm going to just quickly, oops, sorry about that, go in and plop some white gesso on here. That was rather a lot. So this just means I'll have a bit more time to play with my medium on here. Works really nicely as a watercolour paper, but it's incredibly thirsty and it reacts very, very quickly. So, you know, if you're going to use it to do kind of watercolour, you need to be moving fast. I have used the Stabilo Oil pencil. I think one of the previous videos on my channel was using that on this paper to do a bear, and it worked really nicely. But literally once you go in and water activate it, it soaks in straight away. So you need to just be very sure that's what you want to do. Or be at peace with whatever happens. Definitely. Okay, so I think what I might do here is use some of the scribble sticks in kind of woody animal colours. We've got, what have we got? We've got syrup, umber, I think that's umber, umber and cocoa. And then we've got some of these other ones, gilt, ancient, what's that one? Penny. Penny might be nice. Of course we've got black. And I might just do that kind of technique where that's dry enough up there. So let me show you. So I'm going to lightly spritz and then just go in with the scribble stick over the lines. So the water's activating the pigment. And I was going to stamp that on there. Leave that to dry. And on the owl, let's use, what's that one? Syrup. Because I can go in with other colours after. What I'm going to do is use this as my first layer, then stamp over it again with ink, and then pull some of the colour out, and then go back in with some other scribble stick colours. So what should we use for the little hedgehog? What about ancient? Oh, oh, cute. Oh, that little bird's like a little sparrow. Uh, and then the fox, we could do with an orangey brown, couldn't we? There's Tangelo, that'll work. So by going in with this layer here first and leaving it to dry, I think I might have, yeah, I've given him a tuft. Never mind, perhaps it's windy. It's quite funny. By doing this, then I can go in and stamp over with ink, and then I can pull that colour out, and it gives a really nice, like, little kind of shadowy, shady hint at colour. It's nice way to do it. So now those are nice and dry, I'm going to go in with some archival ink and try my best to stamp as close to my initial image as possible. Moved it again. Yay. And you can see I've got that kind of shadow of the colour underneath. I quite like his little tuft, it's quite cute. Right, let's do the same with this one. Get it as close as I can without worrying too much. That's close enough. Owl's quite cute. I didn't realise those are like little hearts on its feathers. And lastly, the squirrel. Okay. So, like I say, that set is just called Woodland. That's Dina's, one of the new release. So, I'm now going to use a water brush. And after giving this a little dry, so archival ink can take a little while to dry sometimes, so I just want to make sure. What I'm going to do is just go along where these lines are and pull out some of that scribble stick pigment. and just allow it to bring a bit of colour onto these images. This is a really nice way to kind of start bringing a bit of colour. And then of course I can go in with other colours and add a bit more depth here. And then I'm just going to pull that like that. I might grab a bit of kitchen roll, and then if there's anywhere where I want to go in and just lift some out just to create some lighter areas, I can. Yeah, I like that. That's nice. Okay. So I'm kind of doing like a dotting motion with the water brush, because this is wet, so it is all going to kind of move around. And I just want to encourage it to kind of stay where I'm putting it. Okay, so that's my little bird. Cool. Let's go in with the fox next. So this is moving around quite easily because I gessoed the watercolour paper before I started, which means that I can now pull this pigment around quite easily. Oh, I love that little fox. He's cute. I might just go back in with a bit more Tangelo. See if I can make some of these areas a bit brighter. Okay. I'm just going to let that pigment kind of move around as it wants to in there. Right, the squirrel. Let's have a look what this colour's like. This is cocoa and it's almost got like a bit of purple in, hasn't it? It's quite an interesting colour. I think I'm definitely going to need to add some more on that tail. Syrup. It's cocoa gone. Oh, just there. Now that little bird's a bit drier, I might just go in and add a bit more brown onto this. I'm kind of just making these up as I go along. This might be syrup. Let's just bring a bit more depth to this little squirrel. Owl. Hello, Mr. Owl. I'm going to try and leave his eyes white. and chest white as well, if I can. I like how those colours have played together. So I think that's syrup and cocoa. Aren't they pretty? Okay. And a little hedgehog. This was the one of the oh my goodness, was it ancient that I used for this little hedgehog? I like how that's come up. That is really pretty. Yeah, that's nice. I wonder what's that one? Penny. Yeah. Ancient. Oh, I want gilt. Is that gilt? Yes. I think gilt might look quite nice on the fox if I can get it to show up. I'm kind of thinking, do what foxes have white tips on their tails? I think they do, so I might have to go back and do that. Okay. Let's just check it up because I have a feeling. Hey Siri, do foxes have white tips on their tails? Red foxes have white tips on their tails. Okay. I didn't know that. Only red foxes. There must be different, like Arctic foxes and stuff. I can come back and pop some white gesso on that in a bit. Right, so I've got my little animals. They're quite similar colours to my backgrounds, but that's okay. Right, let's put all of these away. So I have all my scribble sticks and Neocolour 2s stored in little colour family groups. So that's my kind of neutrals and metallic and neutral colours. Scissors. Let's cut some of these little dudes out. Oh. I do like these scissors, but I end up holding them like I'm gripping on for dear life. I don't know why. It's very funny. I've also need to stop using my scissors as tools for other things because I end up ruining them. I am quite naughty. So I think we'll have him in a tree, the little owl on a tree branch. The little hedgehog can be snuffling through some leaves. And then the little bird, he should probably be on a tree branch too. So while I'm cutting these out, I'm also having a think about ways that I can pop these little characters out from the background because the colours are similar, and although I really like that, it does mean that these are going to kind of disappear unless I can find a way to make them pop out. So I'm just going to kind of show you how I plan to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, did I miscount these? Oh, there's only 5. I did miscount them. That's all right. I'll use one for my cover. That will be fine. Can't count, can I? Oh my days. So I was suddenly very confused there. Okay. So I'm going to grab some of Dina's collage paper and transparencies. Start with collage paper first. Some of this collage paper's got fab leaves and things on. I think that's going to work quite nicely. I can also colour it with some green gloss. Will that spray? Oh, it will. Oh my, amazing. So I don't know if you've tried gloss spray on collage tissue paper. It's quite cool. It kind of makes it go a little bit crunchy, almost like a sort of glassine texture. However, if you leave it, it will stick to everything. I bet I can't get Olive to spray. Oh my, yes, come on. I know you want to. You know you want to. There we go. Is it because there's not much left in it? Yes. Ooh, that's all right. I'll stick together. They'll print from each other. They become like glue. What's that? Evergreen. Oh, that's brand new. Not even open that. Let's get that working. Apologies if you could hear me swallowing there. Right, give that a quick dry. In fact, before I do that, I might just grab another piece and take a print off it. And then I'm not just drying up all of the nice gloss. I really want a leafy one, leafy one. Do you know what? That'll do. I only want bits, so that's fine. Doing this means that that's going to help that dry off. Okay, let's look for another one. And as long as I don't leave that on there and I move it as it's nearly dry, we should then be okay. So what I'm doing now is just creating some more like little elements that I can pop into the background. Why not? Let's have a little bit of turquoise in there. And a little bit more evergreen. That will just make the green more vibrant. As I'm going to tear those up and use those to help anchor my little creatures on my pages. Soak some of that off there. Nice. I really enjoy creating these longer videos because it means I get to show you the whole uncut process, how I create. This is quite authentic for me. I have an idea of what I want to do, but I haven't really thought through how it's going to happen. And I just kind of work my way through. So this is not kind of set up and staged. This is very authentic, creating how I normally do. I kind of think, oh, this needs a pop of green. Collage paper would be fab. And then I kind of think, oh, okay, so I could do with it coloured. Let's spray it. Right, let's have a look and see if there's any transparencies that have got leafy things on. I don't know if there are. I know there's people, and I know there's. Well, I mean, they might work. Patterns, maybe. Little berries, wiggles. Let's have some words. I might not use all of those, but we'll see. Just kind of getting out bits that might be quite useful. Right, so the little hedgehog, he's going to be on the ground, so what I might just do here is kind of create almost like a little pile of thinking I'm just going to staple these on. Do you know what else I think will work nice? Is a bit of fabric on these. What about some of this nice green fabric? Oh dear, trash those scissors. That's really not good. So I'm just looking to kind of create some layering here. A bit of fabric, kind of a bit 3D-ness. I've got some kind of thready bits that I could stick on there as well. Maybe. Maybe not. Let's go a little bit more up there. Oh dear. Okay, so they're not fabric scissors anymore. Oh goodness. I think I need to be a bit better with my scissors and definitely have some that I keep just for using on fabric. Those of you that are proper fabricy people who love using your fabrics, sorry if you're watching this and cringing at my poor scissors. They were lovely and sharp. I've not even had them that long. So I'm just pulling the threads out of here because I want this to be, I want a little pile of threads that kind of go with what's already on here. Ah, yeah. Just pop in there. Okay, I've done that one. What else was going to be in the leaves? The fox. So I'm not really bothered about the fact I'm using staples. These cards are going to be stuck back to back, so the staples will mostly, the backs of them will be hidden when this is constructed, so it should be all right. I think we'll go with a different green on this one. I mean, we could even put some like stitchy bits on here. I'm trying desperately hard not to do that song. What does the fox say? It's in my head. Kids would be proud of me. The silliest things make me sing songs, honestly. I need help. I'm conscious he's going to be smack bang in the middle, but that's how it is going to be. And it's not going to upset me now. So I can come back and add more detail on these, can't I? Right, let me just find a cocoa paint in my box. I've got one. Syrup. Is that cocoa? Yeah. Cool. So I think on this one, I'm going to do this one a little bit differently. Stick that down. Grab a brush. Oh my days, didn't mean for that much to come out, never mind. Okay, so that's going to be too tall. You can come right off there. So what I'm doing here is trying to create somewhere for my little owl to sit. And then I can come in and add some leaves on these branches. I'm also going to do the same for this little bird, but I think I'll do this one over on this side. He's a little bit smaller. He can sit there. Pop some leaves on there too. So we've got the owl and we've got the little sparrowy bird. And I've just got the squirrel to do. And I've got to find a way to pull these together. Can I be bothered to cut these out? I don't think I can. Do you know what? No to that. I'm not cutting those out. I'm going to grab some paint. I'm going to go fur. I'm going to use the same brush that I did for branches. And I'm just going to pop an idea of some leaves on here like this. Then that means all my cards are not all the same. And I can come in with scribble sticks probably and add a bit more variety on this one. Mr. Bird. Oh, good grief. Oh, doesn't seem to matter. Every single day I manage to get paint on something. never mind. It's too warm to wear an apron as well. That's part of the trouble. It's my own fault. I mean, I'm the one that's flinging the paint around, no one else. I've just got very little control. It's not the best, is it? I'm just using a little bit of that that's left over there just to add some bits of variety and some lighter bits into those. Okay, and there is just a little squirrel. Okay, so Lee distracted me. I'm blaming Lee for that. They came in to say hello, and then I started playing and then forgot I wasn't recording. So what I've done is added a few splatters, a few marks on here. I'm just contemplating going in, adding some stitching onto these. I might do. I don't know. I mean, I think that colour would look really nice on these as well, with like some crosses or something. Definitely some stamping once they're dry. Let's give them a bit of a heat. I might even put some bits of transparency on. Let's see. This is going to be quite a long video, I think. Some text look cool on that tree stump. This is going to be a little chunky little book, isn't it? This. Oh, I need my big scissors. Those are no good. So there's someone who watches my YouTube channel who's always like, "Oh my god, your big scissors don't half make me laugh." I think it's really funny. Oh, I like that. I'm going to put that there. Just little touches of transparency. The transparency just brings a different feel to the surface, because obviously it's shiny, so you've got like a different quality. I do like that. It might be quite nice to put some little bits in the sky, like some little suns or something. Don't really know. Let's see. Some dots on this tree. Yeah, I like that. Kind of coming together, aren't they? We need to do something to make these feel different, because they really don't. I wonder if some little crowns would work for these little fellas. Give them all a little crown. Yes. Oh, the little squirrel needs a tiny one. This one might work. His ears are in the way. But that's put it back there. Mr. Owl. pulled it off. There we go. Just push that up a little bit. Not quite in the right place. There we go. That'll do. Kings of the woodland. Well, kings and queens and royal people. Oh. Okay. I'm going to need some words to go on these as well. But what I might do is add some stitching to some of them. And then I'm just pulling these threads apart because these are quite chunky. And then I need to find a needle. I can get them threaded through. On there. Excellent. Actually, I've got some white on there. Shall I just use that and put some lines on his tail, maybe? I mean, of course you could like do machine embroidery on these as well. I might even do that. I don't know. Have to be a bit careful because I have got staples all over the place. This is one of the reasons why mixed media is so much fun, because you can just kind of throw anything at your work and you're creating that really fun. There's no rules. I love it. Just that creative freedom to go, I'm going to try this. I don't know if it'll work. It might look rubbish. Does it matter? No. Right, so I've just used up that bit of white that was in there. That was serendipity, wasn't it? I've put that in his tail. And then I think I remember the days of being able to thread a needle without any bother. So much so that my mum used to be there like going, oh my gosh, can't see. Claire, will you thread this needle for me? I'd be like, yeah, sure. Yeah, now it's me that's like, whoa. When did the eyes of needles get to be so small? I really don't know. Ah, my thread's naughty. Right, stop that immediately. I'll just do some crosses on this one, I think. Like I said, these cards are going to be stuck back to back, so none of this will. The backs of them we won't be able to see, so that'll be okay. Just kind of want to get some more texture on here. I might even have a look through my coloured pieces of transparency and see if I've got any like orangey, pinky colours that I can add on here. just for a bit more. Oops, no, I don't want that there. Let's try there. A bit more interest. So I'll kind of take you through all this. I'll show you how I'm going to bind it together, and then I'll cut the video and I'll just do a little flip at the end and talk through the bits that I've added, because I'm conscious this is already quite a long video, and you know, you don't want to be here till Christmas. Not that I'm allowed to mention that word. That's banned in our house at the minute. I don't even want to think about that yet. I really like these, the way these little extra stitches are looking. So that's fun. Okay, bit of stitching on there. So I think for this fox I might just leave like loopy bits sticking up. Like tufts of grass. Literally, I'm making this up as I go along. I've got no clue. Oops. Do one more loop down here. I can get one more out of that. And then fasten that off. Just keep hold of that bit there. So I'm just kind of creating those extra bits of texture. And it's going to be interesting sticking these together, isn't it? Because they're going to have quite chunky backs. I mean, I think some black stitches on the hedgehog would look cool, but I don't know whether I can be bothered, to be fair. What about some little red berries for the robiny bird? I don't know if I can get this through here without pulling it apart. Let me try. Nope, I cannot. Okay. So usually the embroidery threads that I get, they're not expensive ones. You can find relatively cheap ones. And I think for this kind of use, you don't really need expensive threads. They're just getting stitched into mixed media projects. Then I think, you know, these kind of cheaper generic threads are perfectly fine. There we go, see? Struggling to thread my needle now. Was that? No, I've only got two. Oh well, that'll do. You can come off. If you don't want to play, that's fine. You can come off there. No stress. So I might just do some little French knots on this little bird's tree here. Just like the idea of berries. I mean, you could just as easily just dot some red paint on. This is quite nice because it's a great way to create a little bit of fun texture too. So the more times you wind it round, the bigger your French knot will be. It is one of those stitches that's a good idea to have a practice. There's definitely an art to doing it, and I'm making that look really difficult. But it's a really cool stitch. to add onto projects. It's a really lovely way to create a little bit of texture. And I might just do 2 little groups of berries, that'll do. And then fasten that off. Okay. Let's see if I can find, is there an orange that might work nicely on our fox? We haven't actually got anything else on there, have we? What are those bits doing? Right, let's just put that needle to one side for now and have a look in. So I have like a little stash of transparencies that I've coloured different colours. Just wondering if there's any bits in here that would kind of look autumnal. Not really. Those are all on white, so that's no good. So I think what I'll do now is I'll just start to bind these together and show you how I'm going to do that, and then I'll spend a bit of time just finishing this off, and then I'll come in at the end and do a little flip through for you so you can see how I finished it off, because I'm conscious this video has gone on forever. And I think I just need to spend a little bit of time pulling this together off camera so that I'm happy with it. Right, okay, so that's going to be my front cover, and then I'm going to try and split these up. I might have my robin first, then fox, hedgehog. I'm going to go like this, back to back, squirrel at the back. Okay, so what I'm going to do to stick these together is grab a piece of card. Doesn't really want to be too thick. This is perfect. This is just a ordinary, it's not expensive card, it's not mega thick, and I'm just going to cut some little tabs. So I'm going to do a tab bind where the tabs are trapped inside. I think I'm going to end up needing one for the back of my journal as well, my little book. So what I'll do is I'll grab maybe that one to go at the back. Calm. It's on top. Let's be calm. Let's just be calm. Right, so these two. This is going to be my front cover. This is going to be my first cover. So I'm going to use some double-sided tape. And I'm going to put, so what happens is that gets stuck on there like this, making sure that's the right way up. that, and then we bring in one that's going to go here. Okay, so that's then going to go that way. And that's going to go on there. Okay. And then what I need to do here is stick a tab in there. So you can see I've got that extra one poking out here. He's going to go on there. Hang on, that's poking out the wrong way, is it? Which was my front page? Front page? Yeah, I shouldn't have poked that through. That's going to go there. Right, okay, that's more like it. And of course you can do this with more than just one tab for this page. You can put a couple more on if you want. Right, and then that folds out like this. And then that will get stuck on here. 2 tabs. Here and here. Oops. Okay. Yep. And then that's going to go on there. Actually, yeah, that is going to go on there. I've ended up with 2 pages next to each other, but that's all right. And then we've got that one. Just check these are all up the right way. Yes. Okay. It's lovely and chunky. Little chunky book. I'm going to need 2 cards for that back page. Delicious. Or do we just stick those tabs onto there? Let's just stick those onto there. So after all, that is the back page. It really doesn't matter. I don't need to be using up tons more cards. Which side is going to go better with? I'm just going to line that up. It's like, let's flip that over. That's going to be easier. Like that. Okay. So that's my back page. Right, so I've bound that together. I need to go in and add some more details to this. And I might add a little binding on the spine as well. But I'll come back in and show you a little flip through when this is finished. So here it is, the finished little book. Anyway, so this little book is made with art cards, lots of paint, lots of mixed media stuff, stitching, a little bit of transparency, some collage paper. I've added in some words and some quotes, a bit of washi tape on some of the pages. And that's it. I'm going to leave that front page just with the sun and the moon on the front, a little bit of ribbon on too, just to simply close it. And that's how it finished off. So a long video. Well done if you've seen it right the way through to the end. Thanks for joining, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.